This is Top Shelf Hemp Wellness. In case you haven't been or heard, we are a spot in Carrollton, Texas, and we are not here to promote anything or any product. We're here to let people know why we're here and what we're doing. The purpose of Top Shelf Hemp Wellness is to do just that, to encourage and promote and coach and everything we can do to help people towards wellness. And that is mental wellness, physical wellness, spiritual wellness, whatever that means to a person. And that's really the purpose of this whole place. And I'm Jimbo. I'm the guy that started all of it. Not all of it, but I've had a lot of inspiration from family, mentors, struggles, successes. We'll get into that on another video if anybody's interested. Send me a request somewhere in the comments. After the part where you talk about everything that you didn't like and you hate me, because we do get that. So that's who I am, that's who we are, and we're actually in the store now, so there might be customers that come in, so we might pause, or you might get to see how we handle the customer, or we might even have Amazon come in and deliver packages, which Amazon is welcome to be on the video or not. So the Amazon driver is cool dude. Thanks. He's camera shy. It's okay, you know.
He threw your packages and ran, okay?
He's like, oh, they're recording. I'm mad. It's like the cops are looking for me or something. No, so that's just a brief summary. I'm gonna get into it later with other videos, and when you come in and talk and ask for help, even if you're not here to buy anything, I don't want your money. We don't want your money. We want to help you with whatever it is you think you need, and we'll point you and push you in that direction. And that's what we'll do. And this is Eric, the newest addition to the awesomeness here. And I can tell you all the awesome things I've learned about him in a short period of time, but it won't, I don't think it'll resonate and feel as authentic as it will coming from him.
From the author?
From the author. Yeah, you lived it, it's you. I'm not just saying that to hype things up, I really feel that way.
Right, appreciate that.
And people will know how sincere I am about the way I talk and the way I am.
Yeah.
Because there's something wrong with me, and I like it. I really do.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's a good problem to have, caring about people.
Yeah. So Eric, tell us who you are, why you're here, how you got here, and
well, I'm Eric.
How was that?
Here in Carrollton. I was raised in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. Moved here when I was 14. Family, mother worked for a telecommunications company, and retired with them. I basically just went out here, went to the colony, graduated high school, and just once I quit baseball, it was kind of like that. Kind of just when you get sheltered your whole life, not really sheltered, but kind of protected your whole life, and then you come to a big city like Dallas, man. There's a lot of things that you didn't know were real, so you can get yourself into a lot of trouble, especially you start running with the wrong crowds, making bad decisions. But that all stems from childhood trauma, unresolved childhood trauma, undiagnosed childhood trauma, plus to this bad decision making as a young man. I mean, that no structure. Our young men, especially today, they need to have more structure. But I quit baseball. I played baseball for the high school for a little bit, my freshman year, and then quit the team because there was just bullying, hazing, and all that crap going on. I just didn't want to be a part of that. And after that, that was kind of that pivotal moment in life where I just made that habit of quitting everything. I became good at quitting. So.
Yeah, we can do that, right? We get better at whatever we practice, right?
Yeah, practice. And people say practice makes perfect. It doesn't. Practice makes permanent.
Yeah.
Like you practice something being the wrong way, and it's still the wrong way.
So yeah, we got to choose what we're practicing.
Right.
Well, baseball. I mean, today there's an event with your son, right?
Right. Here in high school,
and then
they're playing Allen.
And yesterday there was an event, and the day before.
Yeah.
And
they're in the Texas playoffs.
And you go to all those.
Yeah, I go to all those games.
So I already know you're an awesome dad.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I've had moments where I wasn't, but even when I was unhealthy mentally, just my overall wellness was just not good. A lot of, like I said, undiagnosed, untreated trauma, a lot of masking, like self-medicating, masking, fell into the drug world. Just all that undiagnosed, untreated, know the secrets. Really, if I can make any suggestion to anybody about wellness, if you're harboring secrets from childhood trauma, and I don't care, or even something that you've done and it's just eating you alive, that stuff literally will kill you. Secrets is what was killing me.
Cancer, right?
Yeah, it is a cancer. I was molested when I was a child by a family member, and I kept that secret for 33 years, and then finally I went through and did a 90-day inpatient program and realized that, I wasn't a drug addict. I really was I was trying to mask just years of trauma,
Is that the one you were talking about the other day, the EDMR?
Oh yeah, EDMR. Yeah,
And I've heard about that before and studied a little.
Amazing. If you've not
That's
used
badass,
EDMR, I'm just going to say from my personal experience, it helped. I've only done 2 sessions, and that was years ago. But if you have untreated trauma and stuff like that, definitely check into EMDR. It's worth the insurance pays for it. It's worth it. So.
You know what blew my mind about it? I mean, I've looked into it a little bit, not real deep, so I have like a general idea of it.
Right.
But when you were getting into the details and you were telling me, oh, this is how it works, I was like,
yeah.
I was, you're skeptical when you hear about it. Me, when it comes to therapies and psychology and treatments,
Right.
and I'm always like, my radar's on. Okay, is this really helping them? Is it going to stretch it out over millions of years and
Right.
no progress? And is the therapist competent?
I literally got the first session. I can't believe, I left that session bawling my eyes out. But I was in a safe environment, but I was in, they basically, what they do is they take, for those of you who don't know about EMDR, basically all it's doing is taking files that your brain has misfiled. So it's basically bringing it back to where you're basically bringing yourself back into that trauma. You're reliving it a little bit, discussing it, reliving those situations about how you felt. What do you remember about your surroundings? What was the, in my case, what was the person wearing? What was the environment you were in? What do you remember feeling about the situation? Did you get excited? Did you, it's very awkward and, intrusive questions, especially for someone that's just as a counselor, but it needs to happen in order to get that trauma brought back to the front of your brain, I believe. I'm not a scientist, but to where now it can file that trauma correctly in your brain, and that's how you will eventually get over it. So I did 2 sessions. The first one was I literally left there when people used to say man, I really feel like a weight was lifted off my chest, or like an elephant was lifted off my chest, man. It literally, that's exactly what the feeling was like.
And
I used to think it was a cliche, or it was just a bunch of bull crap.
Just a couple days.
No, literally the first try, first one.
Yeah.
And then the second one I went back, and then for whatever reason I just got busy and I stopped taking care of myself again, Because you get to a point where you're in wellness, at least for me, it's the same thing. I'm religious, so I don't know if that's a thing that we're allowed to discuss on here.
Fired!
But
No,
I'm going to do it anyway. So, but it's like with religion. Hell, I damn near lost my thought now.
No, you didn't. Actually, you're going right where it needs to go. Where is that? The natural flow of it.
Yeah.
But you know what? The religion thing, we can use the word religion, or spiritual, faith, I believe in the cosmic universe.
Right. I'm Christian, so I have my beliefs. But
we live in a simulation. How about that? There's so many things, but faith. When I say faith,
Yeah.
okay, maybe I mean it in a religious way, but I mean it in the other way. Believe. I believe this microphone's
that's
here.
true.
I believe the water's here. But faith, that's the common thread through those, right? Is someone believes that there's something better. I can achieve this. I can go
Right.
here.
And
That will
really,
carry you.
ultimately, even if all religion is wrong, the overall goodness of religion as a whole, whether you're Christian, it really doesn't matter what denomination you are,
Muslim,
or what you believe in.
Christian,
It doesn't matter.
Judaism.
Doesn't matter what it is. As long as you're not radical with your beliefs and harming others and stuff like that. I don't care. Again, it goes for any religion, but the overall goodness of what religion teaches is structure, kindness. That's, even if it's all crap, which I don't believe it is, but even if it is, why is that such a bad thing to believe in? How is that why would that be a bad way to live life between us as a humanity. You know?
Especially if it's better than what a person's currently doing.
And like I want to put
Yeah.
this out there, like I know a lot of people are like me, but aren't y'all just sick of all the arguing? Like, whether I don't want to get too far into politics or anything like that, but it's like Republican, Democrat, it's like this nonstop bickering back and forth. It's like, can't we just? That stuff's not healthy for you. All of us arguing, all of us.
People feel it is because hey, I said this, I supported this.
I get it.
They're getting this feeling of significance.
Right.
I matter. Hey,
I was a part of a movement, or I was a part of.
and that's not wrong to want to feel that.
It's not, but it's just like the whole.
Yeah.
We have gotten to a point now where, not everybody, and you can't categorize everybody in this, but a lot of people are now, even within families, we can't have an argument without hating each other. Like we can't have a disagreement without, and then both of us having facts and coming to a common ground, or even coming to the common ground that we don't even need to talk to each other. At least being mature enough. But now, people take it to a whole nother level. It's mentally, it's unstable.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think everybody feels like their opinion's correct. And when you come to opinionated topics, especially opinionated topics, they tell you don't talk about religion, politics, and stuff like that, because they're opinions. You're never going to come to a conclusion.
Yeah, it's all these things to me.
But I think, I think a
yeah.
lot of that stuff helps because communication helps. Because I might disagree with you, but there's been a lot of people that I'm like, I can't stand that person, and even like with my ex-wife, like I cannot stand her. But she made a comment, like I told you, like when she was like, well, you can't be blaming me for your problems for the rest of your life. Like it's been 3 years, you can't keep blaming me for your problems. I was like, you know what? I'll give her credit. I can't stand her and I despise her, but she's absolutely right. Like you got to say something. That's another thing. There's got to be more accountability on, like, just for yourselves, like myself, yourself.
When I heard you say that,
Whether it be health or like if you're like, oh, I want to do this, then do it. Like, sit down, write out a plan. I know this all sounds like common sense stuff,
Yeah.
but some people don't know this, and even people that do know that you need to have a plan, you need to write stuff down. It takes time. Like you're gonna have to actually take time to think about where you want to go, and then make a plan and actually make the vision. Like write out your vision, and then believe it. And if you want it bad enough, you can get it. Like I said, part of my story was I went through the whole drug world, and just had no self-esteem, was just, I did it to myself, didn't take my health seriously, thought going to psychiatrist was a waste of time, or, I'm crap, I gotta get up and get ready, and, getting up and going to a therapist is holding you accountable. So we got a customer coming in.
So we do have a customer coming in, and maybe we'll pause it, maybe we'll continue, we'll see.
Yeah, so we are back. We just helped an awesome customer come in. We don't say his name, so we're using fake names for customers because they want that privacy and protection. We'll give it to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're back.
HIPAA states.
So let me see. We were at where were we? You were talking about. Do you remember? While you're trying to remember all like, we'll get there. So I know you. And you got so much like.
Well, yeah, so like I was saying, like I basically just, when I realized that my ex-wife was right about I needed to stop, we were talking about no accountability and, especially in this country, and just people in general, just mind your businesses.
Is this this is wellness?
Yeah, this is all good. Yeah, I'm just saying, like
mental wellness, right?
Yeah, but like
spiritual wellness.
Yeah.
You've been there already so far.
But
No, I'm
like,
sorry. Go ahead.
But like whenever I'm with my I can't freaking talk right now.
It's okay. You're a real person. So let's check. Okay, okay, it's not that.
I don't know, man.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But no, like so afterwards, I kind of got my crap together, and even I started a company while I was married, and right after the divorce, things kind of got back downhill mentally because just finding out that someone's unfaithful kind of. It puts you through some things mentally, and especially you feel like you wasted your time and just all that time lost and all the arguments and just the nonsense. It just wasn't a healthy relationship either way. So now, after I finally stopped making excuses about everything and start taking my own life in my own hands and getting back to work, like getting the business back up and running and doing it, that's flourishing. But I have I think a lot of it had to do with, like I said, coming here and taking, not just here, just being my overall wellness to get, like, taking it seriously and stop making excuses for myself. Like, get up in the morning, go walk, do something. You can do something that's going to make tomorrow better. That's when I started my company.
This is one of the impressive parts about you is your business and your vision and your drive.
I guess I can
You're your own person, your own business. You weren't just an employee somewhere. You're like
I've been
running the
employed
show.
at a lot of fine dining steakhouses here in Dallas.
Tell people about your success and like.
Well, okay, so
That's
I'll tell
okay.
you a little bit about the kind of the trials that led to get to the successes. Because at some point, you just have to look at your life and be like, enough is enough. And you just got to get sick of it. You got to get sick of your own crap so much to where you're willing to do something about it. You know? So, you know, I had the childhood trauma growing up, bullied like crazy because I was just a small guy. I was nowhere close to as big as I am today. And, you know, went through high school, graduated, did a little bit of college, and started just partying and just really messed up my life. Had a son at 25. We chose to have a son. I mean, I was sober then when we had him, and I'm not going to get into his mom because I don't want to put that out there. But anyways, it was a very rough separation to where the point where now we have a custody battle. And at the time we were both not mentally well and self-medicating. Both of us were, and so you know,
Self-medicating? What ways would you say?
pills and drugs and stuff like that.
What kind?
Like,
If
okay,
you
so
don't- if you don't
no,
mind.
I'm not gonna put hers out there, but
You just use
hers was
whatever.
pills, but mine was, you know, cocaine, crack cocaine, you know, X, G. I mean, I would do anything just to stay. And this is a while back. This isn't any time recently, but like, I would just.
Was alcohol in the mix?
No, I mean it was, but that was just like when I got my motorcycle. My whole rebellion life was from like 2008 through 2015 or 2014 or something like that, 2012, because I had the motorcycle wreck after that. But so it was literally just going to bars, going in strip clubs, just living that fast life, real fast life. I'm talking, I ended up catching a felony for running from the state troopers on my motorcycle.
Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, it was, dude. It was. You ain't never had an adrenaline rush like that. Those state troopers, man,
It's higher than any drug.
yeah, because they can kill you. Man, the state trooper, when they arrested me, I'll go through the whole arrest process, but I'll go through the whole story. But when they arrested me, he was like, man, like, you can really drive a bike, but you're crazy, man. Like, I was living that kind of life. That's how crazy of a life I was living. I was dealing with probably Dallas's worst, you know, South Dallas. It didn't matter what area of Dallas I went into, downtown, South Dallas, Oak Cliff, Pleasant Grove, didn't matter. I was very well protected by the dealers, you know, and by that neighborhood. So it was just, I've never had a problem with anything like that, but it was a bad life. It was a real bad life. So anyway, so I was coming down George Bush. A girlfriend of mine who I met at a strip club a long time ago, she was on the back of my bike. We went to Maggiano's out in Plano. Coming back from the restaurant, exited Marsh, and you can go left or right. So you got Dallas County on the left, Denton County on the right. Well, my dumb ass turns around and takes a right. And what happened was I didn't have my license plate. I was driving on a suspended license. I had no insurance. What else? I mean, I had no registration, no inspection. The motorcycle was mine. It wasn't stolen or nothing. It was just, I was living that fast life. You know, I didn't care about obligations and responsibilities. My bills were paid because I was engaging in a lot of illegal activity back then. I'm not going to put it all out there, but it was a lot. It was a lot, just put it that. Anyways, I'm riding back from Plano. I don't have a license plate. State trooper has right there in the meeting, had just finished pulling someone over, walking back to his unit, gets in, lights me up. I turn around, and I had been making it, like I used to ride with a big group of motorcyclists when I first started. This is back in like 2012 or 2011, 10. I used to run drugs on my motorcycle because nobody could catch me, you know.
That's smart. I mean, not encouraging.
I mean, I'm not
Hey,
encouraging that at all, but
dude,
it was.
That's some insight into this guy's got the mind of success and strategy,
Yeah.
even in that. Okay,
I
go ahead.
just because I had been caught with marijuana or cannabis a long time ago, and in 2003, when everybody was like still on this whole thing that it's horrible for you and it can't help you at all type mentality, and I swore I would never be, you know, I would never not be prepared because I was caught. So I was like, if I have drugs on me, I'm going to be it's going to be stashed extremely well, and I've gotten away with it several times because I've hidden stuff so well, pre-planned. And I guess I pre-planned to try to avoid my failures, but it was, and
You got good at that.
I got
'Cause you
good. Like
practiced
I said,
that.
I was also
Yeah.
I was a bad individual. It's just when all that negativity and that lifestyle and that just bad living and that unhealthy, just it all adds up. It all catch up to you. I don't care how. Just give it time. It'll all catch up. And
If you're alive.
yeah, if you're alive, or
lucky,
if you're
you'll be
not in
alive.
jail, and if you're alive, because
There's still time for some people, right?
yeah, there is definitely. And if anybody's struggling with stuff like that, you need to take that stuff extremely seriously because you're not just affecting yourself, you know, like it affects everybody around you, and then they affect people around them, which affects people around them, you know, so.
And everything, all the benefits and advantages
Yeah.
and good feelings they're getting out of doing those things,
Yeah.
they can still get those good feelings, but
Right.
with another way.
Right.
Not ways that hurt them and other people,
Exactly.
right? But I'm
And,
sorry.
well, anyway, so I went through and I started running from the cops, did this big route. I let the girl off here in Carrollton, just down the street. She got caught, told them who I was, where I lived. I was, you know, I had literally pulled my motorcycle into the apartment, and then called a buddy, went out to a hotel, stayed there for 2 weeks. You know, cell phones. I wasn't educated like I am now when it comes to methods police officers use and stuff like that. But they busted the door down. Because I used to own weapons. I guess I still own weapons. They're just not in my possession. But I had 2 marshal office, an ATF agent, and a state trooper I ran from.
See, I didn't hear these details.
Yeah, it was-
I got the summary.
Yeah, it was-
I'm getting
it
the
was-
juicy stuff.
Bro, so like
the details. Yeah.
when you're watching cops, like
Yeah.
you know, people when you go to jail, they've got it on cops. The TV is on cops. I don't understand the mentality, but it's like, dude,
It's on cops.
that is your life. You shouldn't have to watch TV to.
That's like torture, right?
Right, I know, yeah.
Dang.
Well, I think it's so we can watch other dummies, you know, getting caught doing stupid
Is
stuff.
that like they put it on there like because the law enforcement people want to watch it or because the inmates?
No, the inmates want to watch it.
Oh, they do.
Yes, I don't understand.
that's weird.
It is very weird.
It's interesting too.
Anyway, so I end up getting the door gets busted down. I belly flopped. Like I for some reason I knew I just felt it, you know. And the girl that I used to date, when we would use drugs, she was the type of woman that would leave all of her stuff out. I'm the kind of guy. What I told you, I pre-planned after getting caught with cannabis a long time ago. I would take a hit and I'd hide it. Like I'm talking hide it. And anybody that wants to know, I'll tell you. All right, so I'm just going to use this so you know what I did. So I literally put the.
Wait, hold on. Let me get the popcorn so you can do it.
Okay. I lifted the stove it was in one of these little extended stays where they got the stove and the refrigerators and all that stuff. Well, where they've got the little griddles that you plug into the stove, the little the iron.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You lift that whole part of that stove, and you can tuck it back. So I used to tuck my stuff back in the top. I'm telling you, bro, unless you had a drug dog, and even then, I usually would put my stuff up high. So if a drug dog was involved,
Oh, you think
paranoia, man, it was a terrible way to live.
It was a good hiding place. Do you think
But that's what kept me from not getting caught that day.
you were too good?
So they arrested me and took me to Denton County because like I said, my dumbass took a right and went into Dallas County, and it turned into a. So I'll go one even farther. So I get arrested. State trooper's like, you're a really good motorcycle rider. Like, I couldn't keep up with you, man. You were probably one of the better ones that I followed or have chased before.
He's not helping. He's calm.
Well, what he's trying to do is draw out information because
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the unit and he's taking me out. And I was like, man, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, oh, we're going to play that game, huh? I was like, man, wake me up when we get to Denton County. I already knew the game. I was like, forget you, bro. Because I already knew the girl snitched on me. I already knew all this stuff was going on. So I get in, I sit there, obviously I sleep for like a week because I'm all drugged out and like recovering now because I'm in jail in Denton County. I bond out, which I shouldn't have, but I bonded out. And what do? I run from the cops again. Same exact route that I ran from, and this time it was Carrollton PD, allegedly, but had basically had me. I was hauling, and the dumbest thing I've ever done in my entire life, which is there's a lot of options to choose from. Rosemead.
That's so funny and so true.
It is, but Rosemead and Marsh, I'm going towards George Bush, and I burned through the red light because I'm like, I am not going back to jail. I could have been killed. I mean, it was the dumbest. I mean, luckily, obviously, I made it through.
Were you like, I'll die first?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was tired of going to jail. That's why I didn't pull over for. And it really, I didn't mean, honestly, I didn't mean to run from the cops. I really didn't. It's just a habit because I've been doing it with my buddies the whole time. They're like, "Why do you pull over, man? You keep going to jail."
Habit?
Yeah,
like when you practice something long enough,
when you run from enough state troopers on the highways and stuff, and you're with your pals and you're all just gunning it, and like, dude, I've gone from Frisco to downtown Dallas in like 10, 15 minutes. Like,
but you said habit. There's a point to where you no longer choose; it's automatic.
Yes, it was. It was automatic because it was just boom, I gunned it.
Yeah, people get good at what they practice.
And by that time, I'd already taken the curve to
Yeah.
exit George Bush to go northbound on Marsh, and so I get out on bond. I do the exact same thing. The exact same thing. Dude, they would have thrown the book at me. So I negotiated, or I didn't negotiate, my lawyer didn't negotiate crap. I got the worst deal ever. But I got 5 years probation, deferred probation. Well, during probation, I get cleaned up because I have a motorcycle accident. That's why my leg is all jacked up. I don't know if you can see it or not. But
oh, you're telling me about that and
the pain.
And
like
the
that's
deeper,
how this.
Yeah,
this
you were
is,
going
this
into
is, this
it.
is why I
Yeah.
originally came up here. Is
Yeah.
because of the constant aching and the inflammation and stuff like that. So I was wondering to see if there was anything.
And there's some nerve situations
Yeah,
on
definitely.
neuropathy
Yeah,
at some level, yeah.
circulation issues and stuff now. But I broke. So basically, I got ran off. I was in Plano. Got ran off the road. This is during me doing my drug phase. So this is what initially sobered me up. Got ran off the road into a utility pole, a big brown post, over in Plano off 15th and Custer. And literally, if you go down this entire block, so I forget the street name where my bike ended up. If you go down the entire block, all the posts have guide wires on them. Like on this side, on the side that I hit, mine was the only one that was broken. It did, like I didn't hit it or nothing, but I always wondered if that could have decapitated me, sliced me in half, or like what would have happened if I would have hit that, But basically, I got ran off the road. I landed on my arm like this, and literally from this dispensary sign to about right where this is, so about like that. That's about how far I had on the sidewalk. The sidewalks were real small. I wasn't wearing my lid, my helmet. I got wrapped around the post because it caught me right here. It broke my femur, shattered the tib, everything, the knee. Yeah, it was excruciating, most excruciating pain I've ever been in my entire life. It was horrible. And then so I didn't have insurance, I didn't have money, because that lifestyle finally caught up with me, And so I was living in hotels and all that stuff. So finally, when you get sick of your own crap, you say enough's enough. And when I started going through this, I said I'm done using, and I'm gonna make changes in my life to get better. Started going to church consistently. Healed up from this. They told me that with the injuries that I sustained, I would be in a wheelchair for at least 9 months, and it would probably take me about 2 years to fully recover, 2.5 years to really fully recover without limping and stuff like that. I was back to waiting tables and fine dining steakhouse at a very large 75,000 square foot restaurant that had stairs. I was back to work within 9 months. I was already back up. I was limping really bad, but I was already back to work. So, because nobody was going to help me, I couldn't get disability. They denied me every time. That's a whole other issue. But healed up from that. That was in October when I got my last scan to make sure all this was good. Make sure, because if the skin hadn't grown back, they would have had to amputate my leg. So that's not the only thing. And then I forgot about this. My potassium level got down to 2%, and without potassium, you could go into cardiac arrest. And so I ended up. I come out of anesthesia, and the doctor's like, "You need to hurry up and eat these." They had literally like stalks of bananas. They were fresh too,
Whoa,
but
really?
stalks of bananas, yeah.
That's interesting.
They were like, "You need to eat these." So I literally had that, and I had this. I don't know what it's called. I'm sure for the medical people, they'll know.
Bananas.
But
So not pills and drugs and.
no,
prescriptions?
believe me, I had plenty.
No, that too, but
Yeah.
something natural and real was. In
Yeah,
it.
exactly. They didn't give me like a potassium. I'm sure they had potassium
Oh, yeah.
shots or something like that.
I've never heard of that. Like, that's
Yeah.
cool.
But, yeah.
That's like, yeah.
But yeah,
I'm sure that.
but I feel it was probably because of all the drug use that I was going. I was malnutrition, not eating, not drinking water, not staying hydrated, vitamin D deficiency probably because of the not being in the sun and.
And CBD's somehow related in here somehow.
Oh, so yeah, so we're getting to that. So then, October was kind of like that last little bit. So and then that following February, who was now my ex-wife, I was dating her. And I was sober, everything was going great, going to church, going to Celebrate Recovery. For those people that don't know what that is, it's a faith-based AA type. You can find it at most churches. Strongly recommend it. It's a great program if you take it seriously and be honest, like brutally honest. Don't try to like shortcut your stuff. But anyways, I've done a lot of self-help, a lot of therapy, a lot of, I've got common sense. I know how to fix my own problems. I think a lot of people know how to fix their own problems. Some people don't know what steps to take, which come up here, and this fool can help you. I can promise you, Jim will definitely. He put me light years ahead of just by.
You said the right word, fool. You're gonna get a lot of that too.
Yeah.
I act like a fool because having fun, being silly, making jokes.
You can
that's part of well-being.
have fun in life and still get your stuff taken care of.
To me, it's a well-being practice.
Yes.
Because if you can laugh at something difficult or something you're struggling with, or even laugh at someone else with them when they're coming here or they have a situation, even if they don't feel it and laugh right away, they're getting that energy. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
So it's
you're contagious. Your energy is contagious, especially if you're like for me. I might be calm and chill right now, but you know me when I'm joking, laughing, cutting up.
Oh yeah.
There's a place and a time if a person comes in, just say if someone comes in, they're not in that kind of environment, or they're not in. I feel people's energy.
Yeah, you just kind of piece it. Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of common sense again.
Yeah, but you're a funny dude.
But when I waited tables for so long, you pick up on how to people's body language and stuff like that. So.
So I don't think you've ever talked about that work experience with people and waiting tables.
I was very good at waiting tables.
That explains a lot. Not a lot. Some of how
and honestly,
so
I think everybody. I really think everybody should have to wait tables or some type of service industry so they understand how to treat people with respect. First off.
This is a new connection for me. That is an excellent social learning development process.
Yeah.
If someone's really serious, I want to improve my social skills. Man, they should.
Don't go to Toastmasters, man. Go get you a job. Get paid for it.
A job where there's waiting on people,
right?
And you have to be polite and
you have to speak up. You have to command attention. You have to control the environment. Waiting tables is very positive. But if you're not careful, you can get sucked into the dark side of it because there's a lot of alcoholism. Because we got a customer here.
All right, so we do have a customer.
Oh wait, no,
no, it's
wrong one. She's probably looking for the next door.
Maybe her intuition is guiding her, but she's resisting. I think that could be the case for a lot of viewers.
Yeah, that is true. So I ended up, but like I said, the restaurant industry, you've got a lot of alcoholism, because you've got chefs that literally, bar managers that have to try new drinks to keep the menus fresh, and then, just the whole stress of just wanting to unwind from a long day, and then you have a couple of drinks, and you keep doing that every single night. It's a very stressful thing to take care of people. And whether it's waiting tables or especially nursing and stuff like that, the patience you have to have is just insane. But
that's so true.
Yeah. So I ended up, I'll go back to the story. I ended up that following February getting diagnosed with stage 3 testicular cancer, advanced stage 3. I was almost stage 4 testicular cancer. And so I always put this out there. Any young man it doesn't matter how young you are. Obviously 18 to, I think it's 18 to 33 is the cutoff, but people have still gotten it up to 40 years old or something like that, right around there, 36, 38. This is what my oncologist told me, so I'm just relaying what.
It's hard for people to do that. Some people just don't have the balls to do it.
Right. Oh, that's real funny.
Oh, sorry.
I'll tell you why that's
I had
funny.
to bounce that in there.
I'll
Sorry. So go
I'll
ahead.
tell you why that's funny here in a second. So I ended up, my oncologist told me, and after thousands of dollars of testing, obviously, that I could just go get a pregnancy test and pee in the pregnancy test.
What?
And if it comes back that it says that you're pregnant, as a male, go pee in a pregnancy test. If you're in that age group, 18 to 30, let's say 18 to 40.
And you just got all kinds of new stuff I've never heard.
Yeah, I'm full of, like I said, I know a lot about a lot, but
That's cool. Go ahead.
so if you pee in it and it says you're pregnant, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to stick with those statistics, but most likely you had testicular cancer because of the hormone, your pH imbalance or whatever it has to do with.
And whatever medical disclaimer that people use or say or print
Right.
to protect themselves after what you just said,
Right.
it's boom, it's there.
Okay. Pow.
You know what it is.
Right. But yeah, like I said, I'm not a medical professional, and I'm
Yeah.
just relaying what my oncologist, who's part of Texas Oncology, who is educated, who is a professional, told me. So I always relay that if it can help save a young man's life, because I had no idea. I literally had no idea. I literally got sobered up, wouldn't have known anything was wrong, and literally just by sitting and talking with my partner about STDs and stuff like that, and I said, I thought I had one a long time ago. I've never had one, and showed her the knot that was on my right testicle, and the whole right testicle was literally, so you've got your testicle, literally the whole right side of it was one big tumor. And so they had to extract it. They did what's called an orchiectomy, and they make an incision right here and in the male abdomen, and then they push the testicle out that way. There was some reason why, because I figured, they just make a set. And
I heard someone told me a story where they unraveled it. I guess it's wound up like a spring in some way.
Oh,
I don't know. I've never known. That tripped me out. Like, what? A spring? Well, go ahead. That's weird.
A springy ball.
Yeah, a spring. Yeah.
But yeah, so I ended up having the orchiectomy. What's crazy about that whole story, and this falls in with my story too, like how blessed I am. I didn't know. So my sister was working for a company or a hospital downtown, very prestigious hospital. She would make rounds doing ultrasounds, and she would carry the machines with her. So she had her own machine because she was a contractor for all these hospitals.
Ah.
And so I don't want to say the brand's names and stuff.
Oh, I know you're talking about. It's that other bill you get when you didn't think you were going to get any more bills?
Yeah, that one.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, like I thought insurance took care of this. Oh yeah, insurance did take care of it. This portion of it, but you're stuck with all the rest.
You didn't read 10 million pages of your policy?
Right. Yeah, you didn't read all that really minuscule, like miniature print. So, what was I saying?
She's making her rounds?
Oh yeah, she was making her rounds. So I called her. We called another friend a mutual friend of my ex. It was her friend at the time, but it became a mutual friend, and she's like, yeah, you need to go get scanned, go get that checked. It's got to be it. It's probably a tumor. Like, we already knew it was probably a tumor. But I took my sister. I called my sister, and I told her what's going on. She's like, you need to get scanned. Like, you come by the house. It's awkward. I know it's awkward. But my sister did the scan, and because I didn't have insurance, like I'm getting over drug use. I'm getting over a motorcycle accident. I'm still, trying to get back on my feet.
Yeah, another thing stacked on that. Ugh.
Yeah, so it was just stacked one thing after another. So you had the arrest, then you had the whole 4 years of constant like dealing with this, plus trying to stay sober because you're on probation. I mean, it was hard. It was extremely hard, and I ended up. She did the scan for me. She took it to, and I'm going to say, is it all right if I say the doctor's name? Is that okay? Because I think I want to give her recognition because she saved my life. Okay, I won't. She's a part of Texas Oncology. I'm not going to say her name, but
maybe we can ask. We'll ask our professional videographer.
Okay.
If we do mention name, it could just be edited out later, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. I don't have to say her name. It's
Okay, whatever.
I would like to give her credit because she is a fantastic doctor.
Hey, well,
and
talk to her, and then we'll find out
I'll
how
ask
to do
her.
that.
I'll call her and ask her. In fact, I don't even think she's a part of Texas Oncology anymore. She started her own business.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So-
yeah. Talk to her. We want to.
In fact, you know what? I am going to tell her. Her name is Alexa Gordon, and
Fired? No, I'm kidding.
No, her name is Alexa Gordon. She's out of South Lake, Texas. I don't know the name of her business right now because I would definitely promote it right now. because that woman is an amazing human being. So I didn't have insurance. I was going to get insurance. I paid for the insurance, but they, that you got to wait 15 days, 30 days during the enrollment age and all that stuff, period and all that. So it wouldn't go immediately into effect. Well, I found out my sister takes the images to Alexa at Texas Oncology in Grapevine, and she goes, what patient of mine is this? And my sister's like, well, that's not a patient of yours. This is my little brother. Can you just look at the scans and tell me what's going on? She goes, tell him he needs to be here tomorrow. Come here first thing in the morning. Be here before we open, and I want to talk to him. She didn't tell anything to my sister, but told me, so I did what she said. I showed up the next morning with my mom, and I walk in, we're talking and everything, and she explaining the whole details about, I don't even know, I still don't remember all the terminology, because it is what it is, man. It's another step. What do I got to do to beat this? Like, so I had to ask her, so you're telling me I have cancer? She goes, yes, you have testicular cancer. It needs to be treated immediately. And I was like, well, I don't have, whatever, I don't have insurance, so what am I supposed to do? This woman, the reason why I strongly advocate for anything this woman ever does, as a physician, you never hear stories like this. This woman did the surgery, like I'm getting worked up right now just thinking about it, but she did the surgery for me for free. And literally, if she hadn't done that, then I would end up, I'd be dead right now. I'm on borrowed time as it is, between the motorcycle wreck, the stupidity of growing up,
I brought this in case this happened.
No, you're good.
Men cry.
No.
Is that healthy, right?
Yeah. I don't care if anybody sees it.
I try not to cry,
like,
but
when someone has saved your life.
It's inspiring just watching you and hearing this, like, man. Oh.
But she literally didn't have to do what she did. She told me to be there. She goes, you don't sleep. When you find out you have cancer, you don't sleep on it. You treat it immediately. She ended up doing the surgery for free. I get out of surgery. They did the orchiectomy and all that stuff. I literally, in 2013 was the motorcycle wreck, 2014 was the cancer. I had to go 5 straight days every 3 weeks for 10 months for chemotherapy. No radiation, nothing, straight chemo. It was very aggressive chemo. She said I had very aggressive cancer, so I have to stay on top of my stuff every 6 months. I'm supposed to get scanned. But I had to go. Literally, after having surgery, I healed up, had the abdomen and all that stuff. I was still trying to wait tables and all that, so I was dealing with that. Plus, having my sobriety, I was staying at a sober living house, and part of the rules are you're not allowed to have pills. So I got kicked out of the house because I was taking pain medicine after having a major surgery. So it's just more stuff, just constantly getting kicked in the ball because I can't say balls anymore. But I ended up going through chemotherapy. That's why my teeth are jacked up now, because I had such aggressive chemo. I've fought with numerous people, social workers, insurance companies, Medicaid, all the people that were involved. My PCP, the primary care physician, my oral surgeon, the dentist, and my oncologist. They all went on record, which is very rare, but they all went on record, written record, and submitted it to the social worker and insurance company. And I couldn't get implants. They just completely denied it. So I'm on my own for that. So that's why I've got missing teeth. But so I ended up getting over the chemotherapy. I'm doing real well. I'm living sober. Ended up getting married. During that whole process, so I got married. During my chemotherapy, I was using CBD. And this is back in 2014. Nobody knew what CBD. Not here in the States. It's not like it is today, where it's like, oh, it's just CBD.
Well, for people who don't know what it is, how would you describe what CBD is?
I'll let you do that because you're more of a professional. But I don't want to misinform anybody. But for me, I did the tinctures. And I was told that the cannabinoids have good properties that will help fight off cancer or will help treat. Now, I don't want to say treat. It's good. You should just check into. I don't want to be a medical professional, so I don't want to say all this, but basically, my oncologist told me check into cannabinoids. It could save your life. I cannot tell you because it's not recognized as a medical practice here in the States or here in Texas, and so I did some research, and cannabinoids and all that stuff. It was easy to find because of Canada. And
Thank you, Ken,
yeah, thank you, Canada.
for getting the head start.
Yeah, 51st state. I'm just kidding.
Huh.
And then, so anyway, I go through chemotherapy, use CBD. I'm on probation. They think I'm using cannabis and tell me to stop using it, or they're going to violate me and send me to prison.
Well, you were using cannabis, but you were using CBD, which is not the psychoactive part.
Right, exactly. I was. Yes.
Zero psychoactive.
I wasn't getting high. I was using it for
therapeutic.
along with my chemotherapy.
Which is common with other medications that they can prescribe, right?
Right,
So
right.
it's not an uncommon practice.
Right. And so my probation officer was quite, I'm going to be the bigger person here, but she was not very nice. Didn't understand the situation, or couldn't empathize with the situation. And I told her, her defense, she did give me the alternative, hey, stop or we're going to send you to prison. I said, no, because if I'm dead, you're not sending nobody anywhere, so I'm doing whatever I can to save my life. I don't care who it hurts, and I don't think it was the wrong decision still to this day.
Survival.
Yeah, and so Denton County, being the amazing county that they are, decided to violate my probation. So they sent me to prison. I would fight that for like a year and a half or 2 years, and finally I'm just like, I want to get this crap behind me. I mean, all for one bad decision, it strung along for 10 years.
Do you mind if I pause you and say something? You mentioned Denton County law enforcement.
No, it's not the law enforcement. Like, law enforcement's awesome.
No, I'm not saying you're doing anything
right.
wrong. You're talking about bad. Because there's probably law enforcement might listen to this. I don't know.
Right.
They have a hard job.
They do have a hard job.
I would.
I would never want to do. I respect.
They
Even
have
being
worse
on
than
that bad side, on the opposite side of law enforcement for so long. The officer that I ran from, the state trooper that I ran from, when I was up for parole, because when I got to prison, this all ties back into to law enforcement. But when I got to prison, they were like, "Why are you even here?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. You got to talk about that to Denton County probation." And so they gave me my FI-1 left. But as a part of my parole packet to be able to be let out on parole, the state trooper I ran from wrote a letter of recommendation for me, because I had told my wife. I wrote him a letter while I was in prison and said, "Listen, I don't want nothing from you. I don't want. This is not me sucking up to help my case. I just wanted to let you know I apologize for putting your life in danger, because I was doing a lot of self-reflection in there. It's Texas prison is brutal.
So you wrote him a letter?
I wrote him a letter, and then he wrote a letter for me.
Oh, we have a customer, so we got a.
Hey,
we're gonna
sir,
hit
how's it
pause.
going? So basically, I left off after we got the customer taken care of. I was talking about how the Texas justice system is. I'm not going to talk bad about it because it serves a purpose, although it is extremely flawed. No air conditioning in Texas, making offenders, as I like to call them, or inmates, wear all denim all day long. You have a swamp cooler, you have a cooler with ice in it, and I understand, well, then don't mess up, don't go to prison. Well, you know what? Not everybody in prison is guilty, first off. Not everybody, and not only that, every person in, like what we were talking about yesterday, you've got the person and then the actions that go around them. That's where all the arguments and all the the hate and the anger and the confusion and the misunderstandings and all that stuff happens. But you still have a human being, and to put someone in Texas in a metal chicken coop, which they have, these are all fact statements. I can back this stuff up with facts, where you can just go to the Texas Department of Corrections and look it up yourself. They will run a meter temperature on the chicken coops. All they are is improvised chicken coops with a pod inside of them. That's all it is. So it's a metal building. No trees, no shades, no nothing. All day constantly being out in Palestine. I think they shut that place down. But anyway, all prisons do not have. Every one of them in Texas do not have air conditioning for the inmates. You can go to the infirmary, medical building, and you can then, we have a customer. Okay, so basically, I'll wrap that whole thing up with the Texas Department stuff. So got out of, you know how I was talking about the police officers and stuff like that. Like, I want to make sure that I get this out there for somehow maybe we switch to another subject, but to be a police officer has got to be, I've spent a long time on the opposite side of the law, hating the law, blaming the law, you know, making excuses for why, oh, well, you know, I mean, I was a big, I'm not gonna say political party, but I was big into making excuses, blaming other people for my problems, wondering why this cycle that I'm in my life, it's like I'll start doing good, boom, roadblock, go right back. Start doing good, roadblock, go right back. I mean, it's just literally just go, but I could never make that full circle to kind of escape the cycle to make a new healthy cycle. You know, either I was on probation, or I had addiction issues, or I had, you know, it was always something legal or something always lingering over my head. And so when I got sent to prison, and like I was saying about the law, like it's got to be a hard job. Like even in the prison, the COs, the correctional officers, the COs that you'll see up there, it's got to be stressful, man. Fearing for your life, the PTSD, the things that you see, whether it be in prison or even knowing that you're pulling over somebody, and it just could be just a person that looks like you or me. Doesn't matter your ethnic group or anything. Like it could be anybody. Like, and just that could be your last stop. I mean, just not knowing and constantly not knowing has got to be mentally challenging.
Having to shove that away and continue
and
to do your job.
You got to compartmentalize those thoughts and then let your training take over to kind of do that checklist of making sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do to cover your butt, because you want to make it home to your family. You're trying to protect the citizens. Because honestly, without police, we know how anarchy, this place would be terrible. I mean, it would just be run, crime would be everywhere. Especially here in Texas, I'm glad we have, I do believe the punishments are a little bit extreme on certain things. I think there are a lot of reform could happen in our justice system. I think that's one of the biggest problems we've got. But being an officer, not knowing, you know, the things you see, the shootings, the things you get engaged in, the kind of crimes you investigate, just the overall high level of stress and the high demand of constant awareness and just
continuous survival state.
Right, yeah, your survival skills are always alerted.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be.
You got to have some calm down. You got to be able to relax. You got to be able to escape. You can't. That's why I believe, honestly, I really hope if there's any officers or, you know, like you say, like you got veterans, police, fire, teachers, nurses, and that. Teachers, that's another thing. Golly, can you imagine how stressful that job's got to be right now?
Well, I'm glad what you said. Yeah, we do support those groups. Like I said, so military, whether you're active veteran, police, fire, first responders, teachers. So it says nurses, but physicians too.
Right.
All those people are kind of this interesting category of things they deal with. Yeah, they have to be recognized, appreciated. Yeah. So.
And that's a very big thing. That's another thing that's kind of a problem, right? Like, it just overall is we do not treat our veterans great. Like, when they come back from combat and stuff like that, their overall wellness, especially out of seeing combat, and just being away from your family. Period. That's a huge commitment. And then to the families that are here, especially the wives that are here, taking care of. You know,
well, talking about wives,
there's got to be stressful.
There's a lot of successful stories with veterans, and then which they haven't had a lot of disruption in life, and it's been great.
Right.
There's been a lot. So, and there's a lot of things done right and with the right values and ethics in our military system. So we got to recognize that. Yeah. Nothing's perfect. And things get fixed or improved when people talk about it. Not just to people here, but like people as a big voice, a nation. When that voice is so loud, you have no choice.
I would just love to see our veterans come home from active combat with their land and their homes paid off. Reduced taxes being paid.
That'd be awesome.
Like, if I just put that out there and it catches and plants a seed somewhere and some politician catches on it just because of this, but if that's the one thing anybody gets out of this, that's great, because honestly, our veterans need to be taken care of, man. Just the people in service need to be taken, not just our veterans, you know, the police, they all need to be, EMTs, they all need to be taken care of.
911 operators?
Without them, you'd be dead. You know?
Yeah. So what you said is real important. Some people, they hear this, PTSD, veterans come back, you don't get your benefits.
And I have PTSD, so not only do, like, you don't have to be in military or active combat, like childhood trauma can, and like, I was diagnosed with PTSD due to the fact that I've had run-ins with with death, several times, childhood trauma, the whole constant bullying growing up. It wasn't really bullied whenever I got here because I finally started standing up for myself. But it was just going through all that stuff. It just added up, one thing after another. And when you don't resolve that issue, and it's kind of like you just keep. It's kind of like in a marriage when you argue about something and y'all don't resolve it, but y'all move on to the next one. It's just piling up. So that way, when you get in an argument, you just pull out the drawer what argument you want to use, and we're going to use that as a weapon. And
it feels good, but it's not.
Yeah.
What you said is important. So a lot of people, they hear all this talk about trauma, PTSD, and veterans and suffering. People have heard it so much in a way. It's just like now it's just like
it's like a term.
Yeah. But
I can tell you what PTSD is for me.
Well, before you do that, people want to watch things that are entertaining and listen to things that are entertaining. You'll get their attention.
Right.
Or things that are educational for those who have that interest in education, or both, whatever.
Right.
So if you really want to know, what is this PTSD or trauma in general like? If you want to get a real peek into it, like a peek that'll just shock the hell out of you, in the way that you watch a movie, a drama movie, or in the way that you watch a movie that just really inspired you, moved you, shocked you, laughed. I'm talking about those kind of movies where no critics say anything bad about it. This woman here, Cindy Van, there's a movie being made about her life.
Oh yes, that's right. You just did a podcast about her, didn't you?
Yeah. That video is coming. You guys will see it. So, is this a plug? We're trying to promote something. You damn right we are. We're trying to promote awareness of what, not just PTSD, but trauma. Like you said, childhood. Her story was so impactful to the right people. They wanted to make a movie about her movie. A movie about her life.
A movie about her movie?
Has there been movies about? Yeah, I guess there have. No, but her movie, she's got a movie coming out. It's real soon. It's being directed and produced by Terry Benedict. People probably know who that is. There's awards and Oscars for him, and Mel Gibson's working on it too, in same capacities, I assume. And Hacksaw Ridge. I don't know if anyone's seen that movie. You see it?
That's a great movie.
The Conscientious Objector. Anyways, that movie's going to be, and then Mel Gibson. Who doesn't love Mel Gibson?
Yeah.
Come on, even if
especially now,
it doesn't matter what you like or don't like. Everybody loves the
slow period there for a little bit.
Mad Max, Thunderdome.
But when you look back on it, he wasn't as crazy as everybody made him out to be.
No. I mean, the fact that he's good.
And that's we got to stop judging people.
But if you think about all the movies you loved with Mel Gibson in there, and then it gets into the directing and producing, and he's involved in that. Okay, it's going to be good.
It is going to be
no
good.
matter who you are. So, and it's all about her life story, because her husband was a Marine veteran, suffered through PTSD in all these worst ways. But if you want to see worst case scenarios, if you want to see how bad can this be?
How bad can undiagnosed and untreated?
Watch that movie, read the book. But that's not just all of it. When I heard her life story, her trauma started at 3 years old. 3 years old.
Mine started at 5.
5?
Yeah.
So she, child with her mom. I gotta grab this one. This moves me. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Anyway, when she was 3 years old, her mom died, and orphanage and all, that whole, it gets ugly, but when you take a child away from their mother at 3 years old, not slowly, just rip it apart.
Yeah.
Some people think, they'll get over it. They don't know what's going on. They'll be happy with. No.
You know how we've gotten today in today's society is okay, it's a fatherless society. We all know it's a problem. We all recognize that a fatherless home is without, a motherless or a fatherless if they're not together. It's a broken home. It hasn't, doesn't always, but majority of the time it's going to be, a perfect concoction for failure, or not failure, but just trauma and
she didn't even know. She didn't even know she was carrying that until later on.
You wouldn't know. Unless you really start. And we have so many things to keep us distracted every day. We've got our phones and our works and our personal lives and, apps and games and just wants and needs and all that. We got all these different stressors that keep us occupied, and we, like I said, we don't digest. I don't think a lot of us, I know I don't, but I'm just saying, how many people actually go home at night and try to digest the day? We just move on to the next day. We just we're kind of like we're all existing into it.
Yeah. Before we move away from this, my grandchildren, we're in a similar situation because they didn't. I mean, they're just a few years old now, 2.5, 3, and they didn't grow up with their dad. But their mother, amazing.
See, and that's kind of where I was at, like with my childhood. My biological dad didn't want shit to do with
I've been there too. But so my daughter, fantastic job. She could do such a good job that she can cover those gaps so well. Not 100%, but she can cover those gaps so well. And I've helped out a lot. And then, but the father, and they didn't really know each other very well at all. It's one of those things. And then he wasn't around at all. Like she told him, hey, you know, if you can be here, I want to help. And you can. They didn't really have a relationship. One, whatever. It wasn't. And she was so confident that she had the support and love she needed to do it on her own. She didn't have to demand. You're doing this. You're doing that. You're going to be. This option. Hey, you know, if you want to be part of their life or whatever, you can. She's very, very, very fair that way.
Wish I would have had that at the time.
But she also said, you know what? If it's not something you want to do, that's totally okay.
But you're not gonna be hopping in and out.
Like her like ability for justice and mercy is amazing. I'm sorry, I'm getting ready to cry. This is man. I didn't want to do this, but hey, maybe this is what people need to see, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, what I'm getting at here is, it's been a few years, and now he came back, but he's not like a bad person. He's not like one of those, you know, deadbeat, you know, loser, drug addict. He's not one of those. He's a good person.
Right.
I know it. And he was going through some struggles, trauma, stress. I've heard a little bit about.
What's crazy about trauma, and I don't know why this is the way it is, but when trauma is committed against you, you do it like you pass that trauma on. It's especially with like sexually related cases like assault against like minors and stuff like that. When they grow up, you have to watch over and try to get that diagnosed and treated, that trauma treated before it turns into something that could be passed on to somebody else, because that's normally what happens. People who offend will have been offended against, I should say, I guess. You know?
Yeah, it's a cycle. But just to kind of wrap what I was saying, but he came back in a strong way. He's like, you know what? Some things happen.
Well, did you get to a point where it's just like, you know what? Enough is enough. Like, you got to get sick.
Well, the communication hasn't been, you know, consistent, so it's kind of mystery.
But communication is different for everybody too. So, because my son doesn't communicate very well.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this: like now, like kind of out of the blue in a way. And let me give him credit for this. You know, the whole child support thing, every step of the way. Even though there was no relationship building, didn't see him at all.
He's still financially took care.
There was.
That's a lot. There's not a lot of men that would have done that.
I'm sure it was stressful and a struggle, but I didn't see him fighting it at all.
He did what he needed to do.
Yeah, he's got some honor. So
that is.
But out of the blue, he's back. And my daughter's like, you know, hey, like back. And when I say back, I don't mean back because they had a relationship before. They really never had one. Back. Some things happened. I don't know. It'd be nice if you could tell a story. That would help a lot. Fatherless. Anyway, I could be this jerk and talk shit about him because I took his place. I didn't even know I was gonna talk about this. Oh shit.
That's what happens, man.
Anyway, but he came back like, I'm gonna take care of things. I'm
gonna man up.
Yeah, and he even apologized to me. He doesn't owe me anything. I don't care about an apology, but he needed to apologize for himself. Because if he holds that against himself,
I'm telling you, bro, it's secrets and grudges, man. They will kill you, man.
But whatever happened to get him to this point where he's like, you know, I'm stepping up. I'm taking the right thing. I don't think it's because of what other people think. I think he's just a good person. He wants a better life. I think he wants to love these children. I think he wants to love her too, and so anyway, he's gained my trust, you know, initially, right? Of course, you know, hey, everything could be a scam in life, right? Who knows? But he has my trust and he has my support. I mean, to me, I'm so impressed by that. And you know what's like really interesting, weird, impressive, and kind of scary at the same time? That although they never really had a relationship, they're trying to make one.
Yeah, I can see
It's
that.
not like, oh, these
Right, I
boyfriend and
see.
girlfriend.
We're not trying to do it for the kid and nothing like
Well, no,
that.
not that. It's not like this. Oh, boyfriend and girlfriend, broke up, now they're back. They were really never that.
Right.
But now they're on that path. I'm like, that's like,
That's weird.
It's weird, but at
That's
the same
pretty,
time,
yeah.
at the same time, I see
see
it.
it.
I see the good here.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know I brought that up. Yeah, well, because I think it's an example of how someone can still do what they need to do, what they want to do, what they love to, whatever it is. And in case he watches this, I want him to see this.
Right.
I want the world to see that what he's doing.
That's another, yeah.
And anybody in that situation can do it. Anyway, let's go for it. Okay, all right. Sorry, I had to throw that out because you're talking about this stuff, and I'm like, whoa. It's just like I think it's important for people because of what we're trying to do here.
And then
But
while we had the customer in, I want to go ahead. I want to make sure I plug this before I forget. But Alexis Gordon. Alexis Gordon. Her business is Renew MD Facial Aesthetics, and she is in, I believe it's in South Lake. I'm looking it up right now, but I wanted to make sure that I give her a shout out. And I don't know if she'll ever see this or not, but she deserves all the success. She says like she's a board certified physician and surgeon and member of the Fellowship in American College of Surgeons. So she was in Texas urology, or she was a urologist for 18 years, part of Texas Oncology. She saved my life, and she really deserves. She's a beautiful woman, physically and just emotionally, spiritually. She's just a fantastic person. So I wanted to make sure I at least do whatever I can to help her in any way in life that possible, because she's just a fantastic person. But so I don't know. I know we're running out of time and stuff, but I don't want to get too far into the success and then what my plans are for the future. But whenever I got out of prison, like I said, you got to make a point in your life where you're just like, stop making excuses for yourself. And when you see yourself making an excuse or trying to be like, well, I don't have time. Well, are you sitting down watching TV? You got to prioritize. That's the problem. We don't prioritize our time correctly. I don't think a lot of people do. We just kind of, hey, I got to get this done. We just run with it. We wing it. But if we had it's like when you go into a fight and you have a plan, you have an plan of attack. Start writing your plans down and stuff like that. But I got out of prison. I made a commitment to myself. I did research on what I knew I wanted to be a business owner. I didn't want anybody, to have control over my finances. I wanted financial freedom, basically, for myself, and to have, free time for myself. I never knew what medical stuff, and quite honestly, the restaurant I was working at made me feel indebted that they didn't fire me during my chemotherapy treatment. So I was like, I'm never going to have someone make me feel like that again, because I just left the restaurant industry as a whole back in 2017 when I was put on parole, and I swore that when they gave me parole, I would. And I know a lot of people in prison and jails, period, and just a lot of addicted individuals, people that are like my old self, promise the moon, and we mean it, dude. People like that, we really mean the best, but it's just like we've gotten so far away from reality and connections and networks, and we don't have the tools and the cognitive, I want to say, responsibility to be responsible. You're existing. You're not trying to excel in anything. You're just existing. And so I swore I was going to dedicate 5 years of my life to something, and if at the end of that 5 years I wasn't going to quit, no matter what, I was going to keep going, no matter how many roadblocks. It's going to be hard. I knew it would. It would, and it was. It was extremely challenging, and there would be nights that I'd be up crying. Nobody would know, but I'd be up. I'd stay up till like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I opened up a pressure washing and high-rise window cleaning business here in Dallas. The reason why I did that is because I searched what industries are going to be booming over the next 5 years, and exterior services was one of those. This is all pre-COVID. Even during COVID, no one's going to take care of you. I think we should have all learned the government is not going to take care of us. So you need to start doing something that's going to be better for you. It's going to make yourself overall happier, healthier, when you don't have that constant stress of, I don't know, just taking, there's a lot of something that can be said for taking your own life in your own hands, and not, for me, if it failed, it was my own fault. That's why I invested in myself. And so I took that 5 years. I started up a company called Ecolux, and got partnered with the Dallas Stars, the Mavericks, the American Airlines Center, TCU Athletics, Texas Legends, Allen Americans, Frisco Rough Riders, Corpus Christi Hooks, and I did all that in 4 years after making a commitment to make changes. And don't get me wrong, and I had the city of Frisco's window cleaning contract for a long time.
4 years through all that
Yeah,
struggle.
all that stuff.
And imagine people whose situation is not as bad, how much quicker they could
yes.
without that stress.
Or even if you got one that's worse than mine, man, just make a conscious effort to worry about yourself. And it takes a lot of, when I used to hear people be like, you can do anything, you can do, it's all cliche and all that, but yeah, you literally, in this country, you have no excuse not to do what you want to do. And it doesn't matter what it is. If you want to be a painter, if you want to work at Burger King, if that's just something you aspire to do, there's some people that I've tried training that have worked for me. They're like, no, don't be trying to train me to be a business owner, because I'm an advocate for owning your own business. But it's not for everybody, but for me it worked. And for me, it gave me, Ecolux is who I am now. Eric is who I used to be, and Ecolux now is a genuine service. I'm there for the service, just like with here. What brought me into this store, and now that it's crazy that I even work here, is because this is a place of comfort. It's a comfort zone. Like, you come in. I told you, I came up here, I felt like crap one day. Everything was attacking me. I had to put my dog down. That right there kills me. That dog got me through everything I just told you about got me through, from the point of being arrested and going through chemotherapy and dealing with the divorce. I mean, I haven't even gotten into all that stuff, but I don't want to get started and go too far into it. But you're going to have roadblocks every day. It doesn't matter if you think you're going to have even it could still be a good day and you just have a few roadblocks or whatever, but your life is full of challenges. You just got to figure out a way to get around them and keep going, because this crap of making an excuse for yourself, and like I was, it's just, you're angry all the time because nothing's happening for you. Even though you're trying, you got to work. You got to get creative.
Ooh, creativity. Let's talk about that. How can we help people here with what you're talking about?
Okay, so you have comedians that come up here, and we did the roast on 420 for the ping pong. That was fun. We were up here till 3 o'clock in the morning. So I was here for 12, 13 hours. It didn't even seem like we were here for an hour or two. That whole night flew by. We were having so much fun. We were laughing and joking up here, playing video games. But you have people that can come up here and work on their craft. It doesn't matter what it is. If you just want to come up here, and if I wanted to come up here and work, you even told me, just work here. If we have some downtime, work on your business. Make some emails, calls. You're an advocate for people bettering their lives. And that's what I want to stress the most to people, is that it's even though you don't get that constant, that instant gratification, you help somebody and someone's like, hey man, thank you so much, and you can tell that it really, really struck them, and they really appreciate it, and they're grateful for it, Dude, the dopamine fix you get off of that, off of helping someone, and then when they get somewhere, just helping someone get successful is going to help you get to where you want to go. And it's the hardest thing for people to comprehend, but it's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, and since we're running out of time, there's a lot of people that they know what we're talking about, but like you said earlier, well, how do I put it together in action? How do I go forward? Well, if they're struggling with symptoms of a imbalanced wellness, physically, mentally, then it's kind of hard to see, get that clarity. So sometimes there's things you could do to support your well-being. Like when you go watch a movie, hey, I'm enjoying this movie. You're escaping. You're not thinking about anything. Man, you're getting that's medicine. Right. Or you go watch some stand-up comedy somewhere on a clip or whatever, a concert, play video games for a while. That thing that you get immersed in, that you like, your craft, your art, your passion, that's like meditation, or even meditation itself. That right there is blocking out all that noise that is keeping you. Have so much of it. It's keeping you a prisoner, right? Right. And sometimes people can't just cut through the noise. They can't break out of it, or they feel they can't, or they believe that they can't. If you believe you can't, then you won't. Right. So that's one thing we know is important. There's a lot of ways to do that. I already mentioned it. There's some art, there's some craft, whatever it is.
And speak your stuff into existence.
Yeah, so if you have an art or a craft, jump in that for a while, even though...
Because doing things that you enjoy
That's gonna
doing
help, right?
that are healthy hobbies and healthy escapes, they're very, I mean, obviously they're healthy for you. They're good for you. You need to, I can't run because of this. So after not being able to run, what am I going to do? Like
some people go to drugs, right?
Well, I mean, I did. That's where I ran back to.
There's a lot of drugs that are bad.
But that's another part of the story.
Oh, yeah.
Part two.
No, what I was getting at is some people might say, why are these guys from the cannabis shop talking about all this success and health and really well? I mean, some people turn to cannabis, right?
Yep.
And some people abuse it. And it doesn't help them. It just keeps them, with no ambition. But so there's a right way to use
cannabis. The reason why is because for me, and I know for a lot of people, I'm talking, when you're in that drug world, you know a lot about what this stuff keeps people off. Cannabis will keep people off of other drugs. It's a proven fact. Like, it can help. It is I'm just saying, like...
Can we show them how to use it in a way that can help them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not talking about you overindulge in anything. It's bad for you. But I'm just saying, when you do things responsibly the right way, things that are in most wellness shops, and especially like yours, they wouldn't be out here if they didn't have health benefits, And then not only that, like, it's just, look at the alternatives that we have. I mean, I'm not going to talk about other people's preferences and stuff like that, but we have a lot more destructive things that are out there that are legal.
So you think a lot of people will die and be harmed if they pass these laws and bills to ban hemp?
Oh, absolutely.
That's what's happening right now.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's going on in our system.
Right. They're trying to ban all the work that's been created now, and
there's lives that have been saved.
That's what happens. Yeah. That's the bad side of the correction justice system. That's what I was referring to. Is that it's all money, man.
Oh, so that's what I wanted to mention. So about 2 days ago, a man came in here, maybe like 59, 60, 70, whatever, and he's looking around and asking him, hey, what can I help you with? He's, I'm just looking for help. We start to talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a really good conversation. We sit down right here, and he's very educated. And horticulture specialist and stuff like that. So he knows about growing all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, hey, you could teach me something about this plant even more than I know, because I don't grow.
Right.
Grower. I don't know if I'll ever go there, but he could teach me about stuff. And he was. And then once he started to learn what I really cared about, he went into this story about his childhood and his dad and all the racism they had to face and still face, and he went into the jail and the prison system, and he started talking about how the privatization of it is making it a business to keep people in it, and they're making money off. That's where his passion is.
Yep.
The stories he was telling, man, he said he's going to come back and talk to me if he can get
privatized prisons is.
He lived it. He knows it, and you experienced it. If he watches this and is hearing this, if you can get here and tell this part of the puzzle, people need to hear it. Some people kind of hear,
because a lot of people are just like, oh, well, they're bad people, and I know we're running out of time, but a lot of people are like, oh, well, they're bad people. Like I said, not everybody in there is guilty, and then the people that I met, just from my experience, made bad decisions in a heated moment, or made bad decisions wrapped around love, or made a intoxicated decision, or nobody was clear-headed. You didn't have a healthy individual that made a healthy, for the most part, didn't make a healthy conscience. Oh, I'm just going to wake up today, I'm going to kill somebody. Or I'm going to wake up today and I'm going to go on murder my girlfriend because we got into an argument. I'm going to push her down and she's going to hit her head and die. There's circumstances, and honestly, if people would have empathy, no matter, despite what the situation is, and I know it's really hard, especially for me, because I can be very passionate about wrongdoings, but they're still human beings, and we don't know what has led up to that point because of all the trauma, and you're just passing that trauma along, or
and they don't know also.
Too. Exactly. It's just we have to start taking our mental wellness and our health seriously. Me personally, like, I know I need to, which is what I've been doing, and I'm telling you, that's why I even told you, hey, I'll work up here part-time, because I just want to be. I believe in the.
For those people who believe what you believe, want to do that but don't know how. If they come here, you come here. We can point you in a direction. We can show you how to cut through that noise that's causing you not to see what you got to do. And it doesn't mean we're going to sell you.
And you're getting non-biased feedback.
They don't have to buy anything in the store, right?
I came up here and I won like a high score, got a free pre-roll, came back, played again, got another, got a free pre-roll. You know, so I mean, I was coming up here just getting kind of tiptoeing into it, and then I started understanding what all you really have. And this isn't like going to the stores down the street where you go in, you just get your crap and leave. You know, here, you come here and you work on. You don't have to buy anything. Like that's what stores like. Hey, yeah, come on in. You don't have to buy anything. If you choose to, great. If not, then we'll still be here to help you craft whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is, and I might not be educated in it, but we might know people who are. You know, and you're just you're developing a healthy network when you come here. And like I told you, with my business, you've gotten me back into it, and I've got tools that I now know, and we've only known each other for a couple of months.
Yeah,
know?
There's people that come in here and they don't buy anything, and I'm not concerned about that. If the way they need help is by making things clear, then we help them with that. So I think we're getting close to the end here, but there is one other thing I want to say. If you want to like get a deeper peek into trauma and PTSD, watch that movie when it comes out. There's an event going on. You can buy a ticket where it's being highlighted. It's at the National Medal of Honor Museum in Arlington, brand new museum, over a month ago. I haven't been yet. It's an amazing place if you want to go tour, but there's an event going on, Eventbrite. Look it up, buy a ticket, go see her and all the celebrities and politicians that are going to be there and shake hands. It's fun. Go. I'm going to be there. You should go. Hurry. It's, I think, Friday the 8th is the last day to buy tickets.
Nice.
So, yes, I'm plugging and promoting that. I want people to learn.
She's a firecracker, too.
Oh, she's fun. If you ever get to meet her, Joe Pesci, female. Think about that. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Share this. Come see us. Bye-bye. Bye.